glorious sun basking down on us. And we wanted to make sure that we welcome you and let you know how happy we are as the North Carolina Association of Black Storytellers to be here with you. We are here doing a tribute to our own Jackie Torrrence, who was a world-renowned storyteller. We loved her, we imitate and emulate her, we cherish her memory, and as many stories as she told, we're here to tell, maybe not her story, but similar stories as we remember her and her greatness. You see a picture over here of Jackie Torrrence with her smiling face, and we're proud that she was one of Rowan County's own. She was also one of Livingstone College's own, and I'm a Livingstonian as well, and so proud to have her with us in spirit today. We are the North Carolina Association of Black Storytellers. We are a statewide organization, and we welcome any new members at any time. If you have stories that you like to tell, if you're a story lover, even if you haven't started to tell your own stories, we'd like to have you along with us to learn storytelling and to be a storyteller or a story lover. We have over here some folks here who come from around the state to be with us, and you'll be hearing them. Before we have our folks tell, we want to have some local folks tell. And we have Leah. Will y'all come up and now share stories with us here, and you can introduce yourselves. Let's give them an applause.
My name is Leah Campion. I'm not originally from around here. I'm originally from Ohio, but I've lived in Salisbury for about 9 years, so I guess I am sort of from here. But this is my friend Ed Pilligard. We worked together last year at North Rowan Elementary. I was a tutor there, and he was an EC teacher there as well. I have 2 daughters there, and Ed is a photographer, and he came up with some wonderful ideas for this little toy that you see in front of you last year, and I'll let him tell you a little bit about that.
Hello, and I just want to say thanks for inviting us to tell our little story. I bought this little guy here to set children on to take pictures of, and I took him to school and I threw him in the corner. And the kids kept pulling them out and dressing them up. They would put hats and scarves and sunglasses on them, and they called him Scoot. So we started taking these Scoot pictures, and I posted them on Facebook because I thought they were funny. And some people said, look, you need to write a book. Scoot's got a story to tell. And I said, well, I take pictures, I don't write a book. But Lee said, I write books, I don't take pictures. So that's how we came together to come up with the little adventures of Scoot.
So we would have to always make another trip. Regardless of whatever went on in the village, if you had an emergency or whatever, we would always have to make that extra trip to go get water, because if one crack pot never carried a sufficient amount. So one day, when he was making his trips, the crack pot felt so bad, he was like, I feel so bad for you. You could make another pot, but yet still you toil yourself and go back and make extra trips to get water because of me. Why don't you replace me? I don't have the value of that perfect pot. And the water bearer looked at him and he said, because of you, did you notice the flowers that grow on the side of the path on the way back from the river when I get the water? I planted those seeds on that side because I know you had a leak, because I like your imperfections. And they brought beauty. From those leaks, he was able to get flowers to put on his table when his family ate dinner at night. So with that being said,
Salem, North Carolina. Her name is Mighty A. Pat Stepney. Bring her to the stage, please.
I'd like to share a story with you today. Thinking about Jackie, I remember Jackie when she was a children's librarian. I think Jackie was about as small as I was then, but I also remember her latter days at the hospital when she told me a story about a spider, but she liked all kinds of stories, especially Jack Tales, Rubber Rabbit, and ghost stories. But for the children here today, I'd like to tell you a story about a little boy named Jack. He grew up to be a big boy named Jack, and he lived with his mother, but he wasn't Jack in the Beanstalk. Now Jack was a big boy, and it was about time for him to go out and get a job and be on his own. Can you imagine working for a penny? A long, long time ago, people did work, and sometimes they had to work all day long Well, Penny. So one day Jack's mother said to him, said, Jack, you're a grown man now. It's time for you to go out and get a job. He said, all right, Mama, I'll do what you say. Say tomorrow. So the next day Jack got up and he went and he got a job working for a farmer. He worked all day long, and at the end of the day, the farmer paid him with a bright, shiny penny. Oh, he was so excited about that penny. He was on his way home. He couldn't hardly wait. He started to run. And he ran and he ran and he ran. And by the time he got home, he said, Mama, I went to work today for a farmer and he paid me a penny. She said, well, that's fine, Jack. Give me a penny. We'll put it in a jar and we'll save it. But the penny was gone.
Goes off the coast of New Jersey where even in the wintertime, fish go follow the jet stream and stay warm. We go out there, that boat, and I noticed the guys over on the other bench, they're looking at me strangely. And I can imagine what they're saying. Who is this guy dressed in this leather coat sitting over there? He's got to be a rookie. I'm a rookie. But they started talking in all kinds of accents and I couldn't really understand them. But I knew they were talking about me. So my left boat, it stopped. There was a mad dash to the side of the boat because you had to get the choice stops off the side of the boat. Somewhere in the back, somewhere in the front. And finally, at last, about that time, I felt them coming. Now, some of you know what I'm about to say. I felt the lowly stomach and home. So I get up and I start to the side. I get Greg hands me a fishing pole, and I said, hold on just a moment, I'll be right back. And so I go back, and I open the door, and I go in. Now, everything that I've had to eat in the last 3 days is back there. So I come out.
He obeyed his mother. He learned his lessons well, and he was a reader. Oh, could he read? And she loved to please her child. She was going to make some fried apples or some apple dumplings or maybe an apple pie. So when she went into the house to wash the apples, it just so happened that she noticed the milk that she had set on the table, and it had turned. Oh my goodness, she thought. Out to the barn she ran as fast as she could. She turned the dogs loose, bip, bap, and shout down around her. She says, go save Wild, and they went, oh! And like dogs do, they went across the field. Boogity, 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 up the hills, around the curves, and through the forest, and came to the edge of the forest, and there was the hairy man with Wild and up in the air just getting ready to take a juicy bite. When the hairy man said, Wild, do you hear something? And Wild said, uh-huh. Are they dogs, Wiley? Uh-huh. And are they coming this way? And he says, uh-huh. Well, the hairy man was afraid of dogs. He dropped Wiley and ran as fast as he could in the other direction. Boogity, 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 boogity. And the dogs got there just in time, and they sniffed around, and they found that Wiley was all right. So Wiley finished with his wood, and he drank it on home. He couldn't wait to tell his mama what happened. Mama died. Wiley is a hairy man out there. He really is, and he smells bad. She says, I'm so sorry, Johnny, but the dogs got there in time, and that's just what the dogs do. They are there to protect you. He says, thank you. Yes, ma'am. And all went well until the summer came, and there, of course, blueberry time. And there his mother was going to make him some blueberry.
14 affiliates around the country, and North Carolina Association is one of them. Bring to the stage our president for life, Beverly Fields Burnett. Yeah, Beverly's history is deep in North Carolina, as I suspect that some of you have deep history in North Carolina. Her history runs from the eastern shore through Raleigh all the way up into Asheville. So she's a real North Carolinian. And here she is, Beverly Fields Burnett. Bring her to the stage.
How can I trying to get out of this blackmail situation. So on Sunday night, Mama was tucking me in, and I said, Mama, I'm worried. She said, what are you worried about? I said, these girls gonna tell Miss Reed on me if I don't bring them my dessert, because my mama always packed me a nice lunch. And she said, don't worry about them telling on you. She said, they're not gonna tell it. I said, you just stand up. She said, you just stand up to them and tell them you're not gonna give them your lunch. You're not gonna give them your dessert. So on Monday I went to school and there they were, ready to take my lunch, ready to take my dessert. And I said, I'm not going to give it to you. I'd already given it to them once or twice, and so they were ready to get it every day. So I said, no. They said, well, we're going to beat you up if you don't give it to us. Well, I knew I lived right across the street. The school ground and the street was all one, like, so that day, at 3 o'clock when we got out of school, I said, and I made it home. Got home, and look back like they couldn't touch me on my own property. So every day I would make it home every day before they got me. And after a while they forgot.
All right, John E. bringing the story to you.
Good afternoon, folks. My name is John Willard Evans Jr. My daddy named me that because he liked his name. But I haven't liked it for some 60 years now. I don't think much of it. But there was a lady that knew Jackie really well, or Jackie knew of her. And this lady's name was Elizabeth Cotton. She was a folk guitar player. And Libba wrote a song called Freight Train. You might have heard of it if you were around in the 60s. And Freight Train was her signature song. But I want to tell y'all a little story about this lady, Elizabeth Cotton.